All right, what about store signs? If we wanted a sign on our building, if it's gonna be a flat billboard sign, we start out the same way that we would do a window. We would just make a big area in which we can draw our sign to make it kind of technically accurate. Yes, you could maybe freehand some lettering on the side of a building, kind of like graffiti style, and have some sort of fancy design. But if we want to make technically accurate, we can make a billboard that's flat on the building for right now. This would be where our sign would go. And then the lettering on the inside also has to follow the rules, vertical or to a vanishing point, and get smaller as it goes further back. This side of the sign is smaller than the front. So if you remember back when you were younger and you had these little letter lines, and let's say I wanted to write the word toy store, toy with a T, vertical line, and then the top, toy. We're writing on those number lines. The S is a curve, but it's within the lines. Vertical, O-R-E. Wherever there's a vertical line, like on the R or the T, we're going to try to be as vertical as possible. Now this is where you might want to draw with a light colored marker or a pencil that you can erase if you're going to draw the guidelines in here to draw a sign and make it technically accurate with your lettering. I have the two lines going to VP2. I know it's VP2 because the top of the building goes to VP2. And I can draw my little dashed line in the middle. I would usually use a pencil for this and erase it, so hopefully you can see the gray. So basically I'm drawing my letter lines like that. And within those, anything that I can make vertical, I will. So the T has a vertical line, and the top of the T would follow the rule to go to the vanishing point because I can, like that. The O, I can try to make it as vertical as possible, and the Y as well, toy. And then store, of course, the S can fit within that section. The T can be as vertical as possible. That goes to VP2. The O, vertical for the R. And then the E. And then we could color it up or add block lettering or so on, but that's kind of the guide so that your letters also get smaller as they go closer to the vanishing point, and they're as vertical as possible. If you wanted to draw a little toy or a little bear or something like that, you could freehand that, I suppose, within the sign to make it a little bit more decorative, but for the letters, try to get it technically accurate if you can. What if you want a sign on top of the building? I would draw a vertical line, and all lines are vertical or to a vanishing point. Keep that in mind. I'm going to draw the sign first, and then I can show you how to draw some fancy posts to connect it to the building so it's not floating in midair. Make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. So I follow the top of the building so that it faces the same street, and then I'm going to connect this vertical line here. And that would be my sign right there to start. And I could do the same thing, write toy store on it or write whatever I want. But right now it's kind of floating above there. So I'm going to remember back to 1 point perspective when we are connecting lines to one vanishing point. Now I'm going to connect them to over here to this vanishing point to give it a little bit of an edge. Just a little ways over, like that. And this one as well. Again, all lines are vertical or to a vanishing point at this time. I haven't cheated yet or made any angle lines or things that were crooked. Vertical line there, and then from this corner go back to VP2, and now I have a sign that has a bottom because we're warm looking up, and the left side showing because it's on the right side of the horizon line. If I wanted to make posts, I could do the same thing. I could do little stick posts with just some vertical legs. I could even make those more three-dimensional by connecting the top to VP1 and VP2. This is where I get a little bit more intense with my instructions, a little bit more details to add it, just to give it a little bit more interest to it and not quite so simple. And I connect those lines to the top, and now we have little posts. I can erase the sign behind it within there. So now we have a sign connected to the building facing this street, all lined up to VP2 with an edge, and you can draw your letters or whatever you want on there. Another sign that you could have would be sticking off the building. And I'll show you how to do that with the next one when we do some skywalks. Stay tuned.